Hi, I'm Austin Holm, and this is my presentation. For that presentation, I chose mortgage borrowers. I felt that they were somebody I could resonate with. I'm going to start out here. The mortgage crisis did have many different players that contributed to the first ever time housing values declined. I'm going to look at mortgage borrowers and how they played a part in this mortgage crisis. Mortgage borrowers did a few things correctly. They understood that owning a house helps build wealth, and they also had they knew they had to go to a professional to get a loan. Some of the things they did incorrectly. Many borrowers lied about how much they made, and they misled lenders with how much debt they had currently. Another thing they did incorrectly, they came and put very little down as far as a down payment, which gave them little to absolutely zero equity in that home that they had just purchased. Then most borrowers didn't grasp how much their payment would be if interest rates rose on those adjustable rate mortgages. With that said, borrowers could have taken some steps to prevent themselves from getting into this predicament in the first place. First being truthful with a lender about their financial situation, including their current debts and how much they made. Placing larger down payments to give themselves some equity in a home and to just make their overall payment smaller. Asking their lender to explain the adjustable rate mortgage more, understanding that, and what happens when interest rates adjust or raise, and what happens with their payment. And instead of doing probably the bigger thing with adjustable rate is, instead of doing an adjustable rate, would be getting a fixed rate mortgage. Unfortunately, most of those subprime lender or borrowers weren't eligible for something like that. But these steps definitely would have kept most of these borrowers from defaulting. So some of the managerial finance principles that were violated included that borrowers just took on too much debt for what they could handle. Although you could argue that the borrowers actually had very little managerial finance responsibility just because they weren't the professional in the situation. Stewardship principles that were violated were just lying about finances and ultimately not paying back their debt that they said they would. Some of the biblical principles that were violated included stealing in the form of not repaying or defaulting on loans, and lying to the lender. Many borrowers got caught up in the frenzy of the house buying of the early 2000s. It felt as if everyone was buying, and it's what a person should do. By not getting swept up with all the hype and being truthful about their finances, having a larger down payment, and understanding adjustable rate mortgages better, the mortgage crisis could have been prevented. But with that said, many other people, including mortgage lenders, brokers, investment banks, credit rating agencies, and derivative investors could have also done a better job policing themselves to prevent this mortgage. So it's an unfortunate situation for a lot of different parties, and hopefully everyone learns from it, and we don't make that mistake again. Thank you.